Just wrapping it up, just a few other things I wanted to touch on. You brought it up a little bit earlier, maybe not under the best of circumstances, but the passing of your daughter. Again,
Yeah.
don't want to bring that up too much, but it's been making some headlines because, if I'm not mistaken, that was due to a drunk driver. It was,
Yeah.
yeah. And with the headlines with Jeff Hardy, your name has come up in a lot of that. What are your thoughts on the Jeff Hardy situation and him being someone that you shared a locker room with? And
It's unfortunate that it was Jeff. I'll put Sonny in that same conversation. Tammy Sitch, who is on trial for DUI manslaughter.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it's Jeff Hardy, but people don't follow the whole story. My daughter was taken from us in 2015 by a drunk driver, a multiple DUI offender, so more than one DUI. And so if you follow me or follow the foundation, you'll know that whether you're a wrestler, baseball player, basketball player, football player, politician, or everyday Joe, I'm going to speak out against it. The fact that it's Jeff Hardy just happens to be he's a wrestler. So people go, oh, that's Demott just trying to stick it to a wrestler because he's not in the business. No, this is Bill Demott talking about Jeff Hardy, who's been arrested again for a DUI. Thank goodness before he killed himself or someone else. That's what I'm speaking up about. I'm speaking up about people who make the same decision over and over again and think they don't have to be accountable for it. Now, it's Jeff Hardy, same as it was Uso last year. I spoke up about it. If you're a wrestler, I'm going to speak up about it even more because I take that personally, because anybody who knows me and knows my story knows what this means to me and how I've been affected by it. So it just so happens that it was Jeff Hardy, and I had an interaction with Matt because someone was taking what I said and was pointing it at Matt. I have no ill will towards Matt Hardy. I have no ill will towards Jeff Hardy, the wrestler. The problem I have is with Jeff Hardy, the grown man who's made the same decision at least 3 times and keeps making that decision. He needs to be held accountable for that decision. I don't care if he's a champion. I don't care if he never made a dime. If he wasn't a wrestler, I'd be having the same conversation. But why would I not put a wrestler who made national news with the DUI arrest, made national news? Why would I not talk about that because he's a wrestler and I have favoritism towards wrestlers? No. Because what if that wrestler took your loved one's life? There's got to be accountability for that. And so, yes, I'm not a big fan of my name being in the news till this day. But I was on Fox News when they were talking about Nancy Pelosi's husband getting a DUI and them sweeping it under the rug. I'm an advocate against drunk, impaired, and distracted driving. That's what this foundation is about. My daughter was taken from me by a drunk driver. I advocate for families and victims of drunk, impaired, and distracted driving. And in the meantime, I get to use my knowledge of social media and all the things that I've been through in my life experience, and I go get to talk to people about the decisions we make and how they affect other people. So it was very quick to blow up about Jeff Hardy. It was, oh, Demott's at it again with wrestling. It's got nothing to do with wrestling, man. It's got to do with people's lives, and it's got to do with accountability. So unfortunately, Jeff is waiting. His trial's in 2 weeks. I think Tammy Sitch's is in 1 week. There's a guy in Brevard County down here for DUI manslaughter. I'm going to be at that one. I'm an advocate for the family and to put an end to this, what's socially acceptable. You know?
And if you could, send a message to these people, anything that you would recommend for them to do to get their life in order, what would that be?
There's Uber, there's Lyft, there's taxis, there's stay at home, there's get a designated driver. If you're famous and make money and want to go party, I'm not against drinking. I'm against drinking and driving. You want to go get high, but don't get behind the wheel. Now, these celebrities and people that are making a living off other people being fans of theirs, they owe those fans accountability. I'm saying if you need help because you have an alcohol problem, I'm not saying as a person you're the shits and you should be taken off the face of the earth, but your problem shouldn't become someone else's because you killed someone because you have a problem. Get help. I'm a Christian. I'm a Christ follower. I don't hate anybody. I don't wish anybody ill will, but I will hold myself and everyone else accountable if you make a decision that takes somebody's life because you're living your best life, because you're doing what you want to do. No one else matters. Well, in wrestling, people pay to make us important. Now, if I get out and get drunk after a match and I go and what happens if I kill 3 fans? What happens to that fan? Well, it's nothing. He's a wrestler. It's okay. Anybody who speaks up is wrong. No. Anybody who doesn't speak up is wrong. The people who gave Jeff the rental car, they're wrong. They should be held accountable. But Jeff Hardy put himself in his position. This isn't the first time. This isn't the second time. This is at least the third time. No excuses. So unfortunately, it's a wrestler calling out another wrestler. But where's the uproar when I'm calling out the NFL, the Major League Baseball, the NBA, the politicians, the everyday guys? I call out cops who get busted for drunk driving. So this isn't a I don't go after wrestlers. I love the business. I do my best to protect the business. But as far as the Jeff Hardy thing, I lost my daughter because someone made a decision. What they want to do is more important than anything else. It's not about wrestling. It's not about sports. It's not about coaching. It's not about, well, I'm mad at something else. It's about trying to save someone else from going through what my family's doing. That's what it's about.
Yep. And you have every right to that. And I think there's a good message behind there, of getting help and not being that person that robs someone else of their life or losing your own life to this problem. It's not a most comfortable subject to talk about, but it's one that needs to be heard. And I think in a lot of ways, that's something that sums you up, that, you say a lot of things. Maybe it's not what people necessarily want to hear, but it's stuff that they need to hear. That's how I see it.